Welcome to the Sacred Couch, a safe space, a healing place for the souls of Black folks and other folks seeking wellness. Many of the issues that adversely impact our lives as African Americans today did not begin with us. They began with our violent upheaval, deportation, and human trafficking through the Middle Passage, and continued through slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, discrimination, and degradation. The systemic effects of racism and sexism and other forms of injustice continue to shape our thoughts, self-concepts, relationships, and overall well-being. Because our story is unique, we must reclaim our narratives. Our challenges are also unique. Therefore, our pathways to healing must be authentic. We can't use the same systems and tools that were used to oppress us for centuries to liberate us today. Therefore, the Sacred Couch was uniquely created as an antidote to this long-standing challenge to our mental health, psychological wellness, and spiritual formation. The couch was made for us by us. Here we synergistically blend the scientific and the sacred, the psychological and the prophetic, the socio-relational and the spiritual. I am Dr. S. Janine Hyman, psychologist, theologian, and a grateful Black woman. Come on in, take a load off, relax. Welcome to the Sacred Couch. Good evening. Welcome to the couch. Come right on in. So glad that to see some of you who are coming in tonight on the Sacred Couch. Let me always do my little disclaimer. The Sacred Couch is one of the reasons why it is needed by our people in particular, because we are by nature inherently, before we were more colonized than not, spiritual people. And we are also a very feeling people. And so we don't just need a psychologist couch, because we cannot heal with the same tools and the same methods that were used to oppress us and to bamboozle us and to miseducate us and to culturally misorient us. So we have to have tools that are unique. Our story is unique. Our history is unique. Our purpose, our call is unique. Therefore, the way we heal in men has got to be unique and authentic to us. And so here at the Sacred Couch, we blend the scientific and the sacred. We blend masterfully the psychological and the prophetic, the social and relational, and the spiritual. Synergistically blended, that's our niche here. Blended to help improve the human condition. This is a place, a safe space, a healing place for, as W.E. Du Bois said, for the souls of Black folk and other folk who want to be liberated. This is not your therapy for the week, although it is a therapeutic room. This is not a replacement. This is not to be medical advice or any such thing. It is a place, however, that we encourage you. If you need a little more something, go ahead and layer this and give yourself, if you're Black in America at all, the gift of therapy. All right? So we just had to do our little disclaimer, but we are so glad to see you all as you are coming in on tonight. Amen. Creative. All right. Good to see you on tonight, I hope. All right. Yeah. All right. Hey, Mary Duke, Carol Weiss Sanders, Reginald Bolton. Good to see you tonight. Amen. Sharon Mack. Amen. Let's see. Okay. Oh. I know I'm glad to see you, Pastor Mark. God bless you, son. Amen. Hi, Kanik. Kanik is on tonight. Saida Carter on tonight. Didi Nicole on tonight. Look, these little screens and these old glasses, so praise the Lord, I can't see. Terrence Beverly on tonight. Mildred Crew on tonight. Crab 7442, Shantae Marie, Vicky Thompson, Coach. Bless your heart. I need y'all. You just don't know. I am y'all. If we ever get that right there, if our leaders, our teachers, our managers, our entrepreneurs, our preachers, our pastors ever get, we're not above the people. We are the people. If we ever get that, amen. Allison, evening. Amen. Thank God for the Sacred Couch. Hey, Heather. Amen. Good to see everybody. I hope I got most of you. And so we thank God for our clam family and all of y'all who claim me. We're grateful for each of you on tonight. We're going to talk about this anger and rage. So we've been doing it for a couple of weeks, right? And last week we really looked at, and we'll review a little bit again tonight, the differences, how anger shows up differently in men and women, particularly black men and women. And remember now, this is a healing place, a safe place for the souls of black folks. If you never read W.E.B. Du Bois' book on the souls of black folk, not black folks, but the souls of black folk, you ought to put that back in your arsenal. And if you haven't read it before, read black, all right? And read black of folks that's black for real, not blackface. As they say, all skin folks ain't kin folks. Amen. So we're going to delve a little bit more in it tonight. Reviewed a little bit tonight. But I want to definitely pick up. We said we got to go here on these scriptures and how these scriptures have been twisted and turned by the church, by Christians, by those who colonized us. Again, think about it. Our history says that they actually had a little debate whether we should Christianize. It's actually an old book too, about Christianizing the Negro, but whether they should Christianize us or not. And the Christianize them won. And so we got to take all of the Exodus story out. We got to take all of the liberation themes out of the Bible. And again, the slave Bible, it was sitting at one time, maybe still there, I'm sure, in the Smithsonian. So they crafted a Bible to indoctrinate us. And even once we got the, quote, whole Bible, whatever that is. Let's see, I'm a Catholic Baptist Costal. And so in the Catholic Church, we had the Jerusalem Bible. And the Jerusalem Bible had 70 some books in it. Then I got a King James Bible in the Baptist Church, and it went down to 66. All right. And so prior to all of this, they gave us what they wanted us to have, to train and indoctrinate us, to change the mind, to drive out the natural culture, to remove us from our natural proclivities, to demonize our spirituality that pervaded Africa and other places. They were not so religious as they were spiritual, different names for the same things, and we didn't condemn one another for belief systems. That's colonization. And so by the time we actually get whichever Bible we got, the damage was done. It's in the DNA. It's epigenetics. It's passed down. It's learned. It's nature and nurture. And so it's been used a whole lot to train us, to make us good Negroes. Okay. Hey, Keisha, to make us good Negroes. Bishop LaShawn Crawford, bless you. Good to see you tonight. Hey, Macy. I hope Tracy's on. Hey, Lily. Tom. Okay, I don't even know what that is. But you can go ahead on and get off my page. Okay, we don't use language. All right. Hey, Sean. All right. So let's look. Let's look at some of those scriptures that have been used to tame
and to make docile, and to teach us against, and to cause what we call spiritual bypassing. One of the things that I find more and more and more and more as we do more assimilating, and as we do more of adopting the Christianity of the day. The more we do that, hi Noreen Jenkins Filio, the more we do that, the more we have a tendency to be so deep that we are no longer human. We don't have human skill to even identify what's going on inside of us. We don't have human skill to handle other people's pain. We don't have human skill to handle people's differences. We don't have skill to handle difficulty because we are taught, praying and fasting, God bless you, we are taught to spiritually bypass everything and go right to the spiritual stuff and ignore our humanity. This is not anything that Yeshua taught all the prophets of old. It is spiritual bypassing, and most of us do it. And the reason why many of us have to do it is because we preach about a God of justice, but we don't never see justice. So you got to spiritual bypass it. The things that they told us and taught us that we bought hook, line, and sinker kind of not working. So you got to make up a reason that it's not working. So it's a demon, it's a devil, it's witches. We love witches. Put up a post about witches, man. We go crazy. But witches and well, we love all that stuff. It's good. It does not do us any good because it does not teach us how to deal with the vicissitudes of life and how to even deal with our own stuff internally. And so Jesus will fix it after a while. Just have faith in God. All right. Faith without works is dead, though. All right. Okay. Yeah, we used to hear this one all the time, just so heavenly minded or so heavenly bound that we're no earthly good. And so, particularly with negative emotions or emotions that may cause us to rise up, that may cause us to seek justice or pursue justice, even to the extent that we won't even pray for justice. Could it be that some of the reason why America has gotten by with so much for so long, they're so evil and so savage, is that the people who should be praying for God to rise and the enemy be scattered are actually covering them. All right. All right. This is why we need a sacred couch. So I want to look at, we talked about last week, I want to look at two scriptures that we do with this. All right. We've heard this one from Ephesians 4, right? Ephesians 4 and 26. Be angry and sin not. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. All right. Well, the way that gets twisted, hey, LaFon, the way that gets twisted, the way that really gets twisted is what we're taught is, okay, don't go to bed mad. Okay. All right. Then we connect anger and sin. And then we say anger is a work of the flesh. Well, actually, anger is wired into every mammal. It's wired into the aquatic kingdom. It is wired into the mammalian kingdom. It is wired as part of our neurological and hormonal construction. It's in you want to see that's why they call them cat fights. It's in all the animals. Get out of here. All right. Then all the same people that say, and God was wroth. Now, God was really angry, English words, God was really angry, and the anger of the Lord was kindled. Then we tell people you got to be like God. But then we turn around and tell you again, don't be angry. That's sin. That's your flesh. See? And so the mixed messages, in order to just clear our heads and to be good Negroes, we bypass it or we suppress it or we let it rip on the wrong source. Okay, this is another one that we kind of did something with. Ecclesiastes 7 and 9. Don't be quick in your spirit to get angry, for anger rests in the bosom of fools. See? So we just been taught that this is your flesh. Oh, she got mad. She in her flesh. This stuff is so crazy. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see it? Okay. Do you see it? She angry. He angry. And if you're a black woman, you really are taught not to be angry because you have been softenized by European women's standards. And if you do that, you're an angry black woman. And so many of us will try not to do that, because we don't want that. We're going to get crucified for being like God. So now, which is it? Which is it? Which is it? Hey, George Ford, which is it? Okay. All right, let's look at it again. Thank you, Mildred. All right. You Lord, this is so low. In your anger, this is the NIV, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold. Give no place. So when you look at sin, all this is in the same sentence. It's the way it's been transliterated. All right. When you look at all of it, you see anger, you see sin, you see the devil, you see wrath, and so all of it is associated. Okay? Your brain is going to associate these things into schemas and put it into one category. So we shouldn't be angry. All right? So it is something that has been kind of processed out of us. The other thing is we can't let them Negroes get angry, because if they get angry, they're going to raise up. And if they raise up, they're going to retaliate. All right? All right? So there's a fear there. That's right, Carol. We've been softenized. All these stuff talking about, oh, we want your softness. A man wants your softness. That ain't authentic. That ain't authentic. That's not authentic. That's not authentic. Okay? So we're going to dig in this a little bit heavier tonight. Okay? I probably won't get through all of it. We're going to dig in it a little bit heavier tonight. So now who is speaking? We know this is attributed to Paul, or his Hebrew name is Shaul. Okay, Shaul. All right. Good evening, Angie Payne Cox. All right, Shaul. All right. He wrote the first verse from a prison cell to people living under Roman domination. He writes it from a prison cell. All right, let's get the context. He writes it from a prison cell, Bishop. Okay? Two people living under the empire, Rome, Italy, them other people, okay, who have taken over the known world through what they call the church. All right? His words about anger comes from somebody who knew what it meant to carry it inside of a system that punished its expression, that rewrote narratives about people who expressed it, and whose whole system discouraged it. He knows something about that. He knows something about that. That's the context. I'm writing to all of you Hebrews, you melanated Hebrews, and those who are Yehudites and your Israelites. Those of you who are under Roman domination. All right, we're going to get into it. Okay? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. All right? Let's see who wrote Ecclesiastes. Kohelet. Kohelet. It's the Hebrew name of the teacher who wrote Ecclesiastes. The name means one who gathers the people to teach them. Okay? And now the teacher of wisdom, the sage, has studied how emotion moves through a person and what happens when it settles in the wrong place or when it is issued to the wrong sender or when it settles inside the body and refuses to leave. Now, Paul does not say don't be angry. So let's cut the crap with telling people that their anger is their flesh. Not in a bad way. Your flesh is just your regular self. It's wired into you for protection, for bringing the cosmos back into order when disorder, dishonor, injustice gets it off. Okay? Now, I ain't know no better. I was in England, bless my heart. I ain't know no better, y'all. I ain't even know where it came from. But you know, as I was working with my ex church family, and we were in a meeting with the leaders, you know, and I said something about, okay, y'all, let's get all this stuff out on the table, all this stuff that's been wearing you out, all the stuff that has been exhausting you, all of these people that's getting on your nerves. Let's even talk about God getting on your nerves because you got to do something you really don't want to do, and that's deal with people and blah, blah. And I said, let's just deal with the pissness. They pissed you off. And so Bishop Mark said, everybody go, Bishop. You said pissed. Yay, that's where we got the word from, y'all. Y'all just deal with the piss off. You pissed off. And you know, it's like a cuss word. Yeah, it's like a, I was like, I done cussed at the church. All right. But we gonna deal with the pissness. All right, tonight. Okay? Because many of us have suppressed it, repressed it. We can't even admit that we're angry. Because to admit that we're angry is to admit that an injustice, or at least a perceived injustice or a perceived offense, has happened to us. Well, if we admit that a perceived offense has happened to us, then we must admit that we were vulnerable to be hit, that we were vulnerable to be attacked. And most of us are not going to admit that we've been hit. All right? And if we admit that we've been hit, we're not going to look at none of our interaction with the hitter. The beautiful part about covert narcissists or any narcissist, they're going to project onto you what's actually in them. And if you get angry at them, they'll flip that script on you so fast, project it onto you, and now you the victim now. Now you have become the victimizer, and they think they done flip that script, and now they the victim, and now they're gonna gaslight you and all this other stuff where they're really angry, and many times they're angry at themselves, and can't handle the guilt and shame about who they really are. Their image is one thing, but their inner picture is another. And so to cover the brokenness of that ego and that inner picture that says, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I don't even know who I am, they often project this picture of wonderfulness and superiority, and well, you know, they're just oh so charming and oh so this and that and that, and inside they're angry and scared. All right, I need to do a whole thing on narcissism. That's what I did my PhD on. I sure did on the narcissism of seminarians. All right, I looked at preachers at the seminary. Okay. Okay. I found that they just as narcissistic as everybody else. They're calling don't make them less narcissistic. In some cases, it makes them more narcissistic because everything is image based and everything comes to them. No, I am them. All right. Remember that those of you who are leaders, you are the people. You're not preaching to the people because you're better than the people. You're not teaching in the classroom because you're better than the people that you're teaching. You are those people. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's look a little bit more. Okay? Because the black rage that we carry is legitimate. Paul does not say your anger is not legitimate while you under here under this Roman Empire trying to be black. trying to be Hebrew, trying to be whatever, trying to be whatever. He's not saying do not be angry. He is saying you need to acknowledge that your culture is being stripped from you. You need to acknowledge that the playing field ain't equal. You need to acknowledge that you're not being handled correctly. You need to acknowledge that they're trying to erase and replace you. You need to acknowledge that they are using you for their good, and then when they get their good, you ain't no good. You need to acknowledge that they're trying to get your spirituality out of you. They lied to you, miseducated you. You need to acknowledge, oh God, I was betrayed. David said, if it had been my enemy that did it, I could have borne it, but it was you who's right here beside me. You right. You got to admit. You got to admit. Okay? Because it ain't going to quit until you admit. And he is saying to be angry. Go ahead. Be angry. It reads as a command. It reads as a command. The rage black people carry is not a defect. It's not a deficit. All right? It's not. It matches the definition of the Greek word used here to be angry or gay, as we say it, not orgy. Bless y'all. All right? But orge in the Greek means to be grounded, the whole body anger that rises when you recognize injustice, when you recognize a genuine wrong. Your judgment should stay intact while your body and your emotions feel and experience what happens when injustice, when unrighteousness or unrightness, unrighteous treatment. Righteousness ain't, oh, I'm clean. Won't he make you clean? And no, it ain't that, it ain't that, it ain't that, it ain't that. Matter of fact, the scripture says, sanctify yourselves first. And then the God of peace will sanctify you wholly. Not Holy, but whole. When you do your work, the Spirit does his work with you. So you got to do this. That's exactly what we say. Confession good for the soul. Okay? All right? That's what we say. Confession is good for the soul. I got a scripture for it. Confess your flaws, your shortcomings, your feelings one to another, that you may be healed. All right? Confess your faults, your flaws, your shortcomings, where you miss it, one to another. And pray for one another, or pray with one another. We do the praying, but we don't do the confessing, so that we may be healed. You can quote Isaiah 53 all you want to. You can quote healing is the children's bread all you want to. But the healing strategy that works the most, we don't teach, we don't encourage, and we don't really practice. Because we all right. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, that's the independent black woman. That's the independent black person who must go on, because if I stop and break down now, I may keep breaking down, and I got to go pay the bills. I got to take care of the children. I got to keep it moving. Got to open the church. Got to open the business. Got to, all right? So understand how much of this is our culture. Our culture. It's culture. Okay? So outrage ain't a defect. It matches the definition of orge, which again is the grounded. It's grounded anger. I ain't all up here because I'm acknowledging it. If we can acknowledge it, it'll keep it from doing all of this. See? Sometimes you can't stop them. When they get on them rages, they do this. You can't stop them I mean, they're going 40 clips. And people that got that rage like that, and some of it has to do with frontal lobe stuff that goes along with attention deficit, ADHD, and things like that. Um, so some of that is neurological. They just don't, the control is not there. And so once they begin to go off, they can't stop until they unload the whole gun. All right, the whole clip got to be gone. By that time, y'all done shot up the wall. I'm not talking about your, I'm talking about your, this gun right here. Done shot up the wall, done busted up the furniture, and now you go run home and you feel so ashamed, and you go home and you apologize, but the hose is everywhere. The damage is everywhere. Rage has no ration. Rage has no reasoning. You don't reason with rage because once the brain gets there, we talked about this at your school, Pastor Sada. Once the brain gets to a certain level and gets to a certain place, and those hormones get to going off, you can't reason with that. You can't reason with it because now the brain is like, da, 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 and the frontal lobe is actually changing and doing this. And so the filters are not there. And they're going to be like, pop, 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 pop. By then, y'all, we done shot up the whole house, burned down the whole house. We go home and we are in shame. And then if we're a little narcissistic with it, we're going to say, you triggered me. You made me do it. That's what most abusers do. Abusers blame the person for triggering them. That's your trigger. That's your anger. That's your unprocessed stuff. Well, she pushed my button. Your button has been exposed for 30 years and you only 40 years old. The button is there. All right. And these are some of the ways sometimes now we're seeing our girls go in it. When I worked in community mental health, I would be in the schools, in Title I schools, and even though I was running the program and doing the clinical stuff, I made sure that I did my clinical stuff with my kids myself. I would allow the counselors to do what they do, but the counselors didn't do what I did, and so we would give them both of it. And sometimes I would say, "Now, what in the world just happened to you? You're 5 and you tore up a room." You tore up a room. So we understand some of this is neurological. All right. And even with the neurological stuff, we're going to have to do things to begin to help uh, kind of reroute and rewire the brain. The brain has neuroplasticity. So if it don't work over here, you can do something over here and then work it back over here. And so I've seen 5-year-olds clear a whole room, knock the computers off the desk and all of this stuff. And I asked one of our babies, I think she was maybe 13 or 14 at the time, and I said, what in the world just happened? You lost your mind. And she said, Dr. Hyman, actually I did. All I could see was red. And there is a point where literally you can't, I mean, what is going on? It is just so hypersensitive and hyper visual. It is so this. It gets to such a level that the person literally, or they'll tell you, I blacked out. I blacked out. They'll tell you I didn't see nothing but black. All I saw was red. When people get to that extent, they will almost kill you. Okay? Because the anger is in the body. It's not just a feeling. It is not just a feeling. And many times when we look at it as an emotion, it's actually a secondary emotion that comes or accompanies fear. It's a cover up for fear. All right? So we need to understand that when Paul talks about this orge, it is the grounded whole body anger. Anger is in your body. The hormones are going off. The epinephrine is going off. The adrenaline, epinephrine. It's the stuff is going off. I mean, pew, 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 pew. Okay? So it's whole body anger that rises when you recognize a genuine wrong. It doesn't even have to be a wrong to you. It could be a wrong to somebody in your village. All right? And when we were village people and when we were tribal people, we would defend the cause because what you do to one, you do to all. Injustice for one is injustice for all. The lack of freedom for one is a lack of freedom for all. But in our pathology, the more colonized and whitenized and Christianized we become individualized. All right? Individualized. And so we'll actually see some things and won't say anything. Number one, we don't want nobody to come for us. And number two, our own anger has not been processed, so we can't take on another person's anger. But it's wired into our system. Okay? So this ain't no defect. Our black rage matches the orge, the accurate response to documented 400 centuries of wrongness. The record establishes the wrong as a fact, not a feeling. Okay? For instance, enslavement law criminalized black assembly, black movement, black literacy, and authorized violence against resistance. The black codes, around about 1865, 1866, reimposed those controls through vagrancy and labor statutes. It's systemic. Convict leasing converted to black arrest and forced labor on the new plantation called the prison. Okay? All right, y'all talk to me. All right? Between 1882, 1968, thousands upon thousands of documented lynchings, male and female and children, function as a thing of public terror. It's exactly the same thing Rome did during the time of Yeshua. Hung them outside so everybody would look at them who looked like them and fear. Everybody would look at them who hung them and feel superior. It was sport. That's sick. That's sick. Okay. So the COINTELPRO, we talked a little bit about it last week, exposed 1971, investigated by the Senate's Church Committee, surveilled and dismantled black political organizations. We found, I said this some time ago, that the waters were going to cry out and the rocks were going to cry out. We're going to find out some truths. Waters begin to recede, and we will see whole black townships that had been burned and massacred. And then the government put on top of it a man-made lake to cover up what it did, and then to use the bodies of these people to grow things in the lake. I mean, the pattern is there. Black anger stayed legitimate while its expression carried a lethal cost. And if we didn't do it, hey Estelle, if we didn't do it lethally, systemically, we did it religiously in our teaching and from pulpits. All right? So now let's look at this here. What happens when the anger ain't got nowhere to go? All right. One of these words that goes with this little anger part, all right, is paragismos. Okay. The prefix para, we use it for a whole lot, means pass or beyond the limit. We say something is paranormal. It's beyond the limit. It's past normality. All right. Anger that traveled past its useful point. Remember, anger is useful. It is for protection, it is for survival, and it is for bringing the cosmos back into some kind of order when injustice and bad behavior has thrown things off. All right? Or protocols, natural protocols have been violated. Okay? So it means to go beyond, to go past. It's traveled past its useful point. It has sat too long inside of your body, and it has settled in as a lasting condition rather than a response to correct something and bring it back into balance. Okay? This is what Paul warns against sleeping on. Don't act like it's not there. No, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay? Kasil in the Hebrew, kasil, usually translated fool. Anger rests in the heart of a fool. but it does not mean the unintelligent. It names a person who never examined what was going on inside of them. It names a person who never looked introspectively at what's going on inside of them. It calls people who don't know what's going on inside of themselves fools. Not that you're dumb, not that you're ignorant, not that you no. That's not the best translation. Okay? It does not mean, well, my little light went out again. All right, I ain't got time to fool with it. But it does not mean the unintelligent. Okay? It does not mean stupid. It don't mean none of that. Okay? I'm trying to fix my little light. See that what happened when you just like see that that's broke, y'all. Let me tell you pathology. This here broke. I bought a brand spanking new one. Been in the box for 3 months. Because I actually like this one. See? See, this part of my stuff. I'd rather use it broke than replace it. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, what else? What else in your life? What else in your life is actually broke that you need to replace it and you won't because you like it? Some things, y'all, is time. All right, y'all gonna get that in a minute. All right. Okay. Uh, all right. Now, this conceal is someone who doesn't know what's going on inside of them. They don't know their own feelings. They don't know their own motives. They don't know nothing. Everything is always somebody else's fault. What somebody else did to them. It's never me. It's never me. And when you got this little frontal lobe thing, or you got the little narcissistic piece, you don't ever see what you did to facilitate a response to you. It's always what somebody, I didn't see that coming. Where is this coming from? Why she just went in on me like that? Why he said that to me? They never have a clue what they doing to you. Because they just do it. They just do it. They ain't connected the dots. All right. But this is a person that don't know what they're carrying. All right. A community that inherited the anger without the language, the space, or the permission to process it. So it keeps getting passed down from one generation to another, epigenetically and environmentally, socially. It's what we learn. Okay? Let's see what this going to sleep, don't let the sun go down on the ground. All right. Sleeping on unresolved anger doesn't discharge it, people. Just said, I'm going to take a nap. Sometimes some things do put you in the bed. Like, I just got to go to bed. I just got to go to bed. They just put me in a hole. All right. I get it. But sleeping on unresolved anger does not discharge it. It dislodges it from one place to another. Okay. During sleep, let's talk about this neurologically. During sleep, the brain consolidates the day's events. The brain is replaying the day's events. All right. The brain is also uh, uh, consolidating the events and the emotion. Now you sleep, so you can't fix it if it's wrong. I mean, it may even show up in your dreams. All right. It encodes it and seals it more firmly. Hey, Key, seals it more firmly in the memory. So you wake more entrenched in it than the night before. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but sometimes you just got to get it out of your mouth. Okay, this hurts. I can't believe they betrayed me. I can't believe he did that. I can't believe white folks still doing that. I can't believe so and so doing that. I can't believe this happened at school. I can't believe this. Now. I'm pissed. I'm pissed, and the reason that I'm pissed is because, and then you have to take it back to you, not just to them. I'm pissed because they did this and I was open to it. I'm pissed because I gave them everything I had and they poo-pooed on it. No, I'm pissed because I gave them everything I had and that strategy and that tool didn't work to buy their affection, buy their attention, buy their affirmation, and buy their security. I did all of this so they could affirm my value and stay. Oh my God. You got to be able to admit I did that because I'm wired to do that. I did that because as a child, the best way for me to make it chill in the crib where all the crazy was going on was to be something good to everybody so everybody could be all right. Black women, this is what we do. I gave them everything. I got the first glimpse of this when I was pastoring. And I said, God, I don't get these people. Because what they do to women pastors is real different, real different. I said, I don't get these people. What's wrong with it? I'm just going in. I told you I didn't want to do this. This is why I didn't want to do this. They leave you. They abandon you. They lie on you. They lie on God. God sent me. Okay, now I ain't give you what you wanted. So now God telling me to go. Okay, all right. God sent me here to help you. Ma'am, you the one crazy. What you mean? What? And I'm saying, God, what the world? I said, God, I done gave these people everything, everything, everything. And I said, I'm trying to be a good pastor. And the Lord said to me, I ain't asked you to do that. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. hold up. What? He said, that's a childhood issue. I'm like, what? You're still trying to be a good girl for approval. It's the way you're socialized. I didn't ask you to be a good pastor. I didn't ask you to be a good nothing. I ask you to be the you that I made. And when you are authentically you, you are automatically good enough. And if they can't value the authentic you, oh well, you do not need that at this moment. Come on. Some of you try to buy your way. You finally got $2. You try to buy your way. And when the buy doesn't work, you get angry and you run and you say, pull me. I did all of this. You ever heard this one? Give me after all I did for you. Everything I did for you, I gave you everything. Everything. Why? So when you allow that to fester over and over and over again, childhood issues will show up other places and in other relationships. Stop trying to be a good wife, a good mother, a good this. Be good at being who God created you. That's going to take you the rest of your life to find out the complexities of godness in you, the greatness in you. We latch on to people. I'm like, this happens to leaders all the time. Second on the church. I'm going to latch on to her. I'm going to latch on to him. If I could just get known, if I could just get a picture with them, if I could just be known as being one, if I could be associated, then I will be great by association. If I can get him to take me where I need to go. No, ain't nobody supposed to take you where you need to go. Get in the car and drive yourself. Follow the leader. Yeah, see, then we get mad. We be mad. And so many of us, am I helping? Thank you, baby. Am I helping? Because many of us, I'm always transparent with you. Because I am the people. All right? And so many times, I said, I did it again. I gave them too much. I gave them too much. When you give people too much, they don't have no value for you. They don't have value for what you gave them. They didn't have to work for it. They didn't have to do anything else for it. They didn't. And you say, talking, did it again. Black women is what we do. And so then we're angry that we did all of that. Watch. That we did all of that. Watch it. And it still wasn't enough. I'm talking good. I'm talking better. Y'all saying amen for real tonight. See? So we won't deal with any of that stuff. So we just project all of that anger rather than to look at Am I only mad with them, or am I also mad with me? Because I did all that to buy them, and it wasn't enough. I did all of that to please them, and it still wasn't enough. If you have said this, and I think most all black people have, now you may be the exception. If this you, I want you to type this me. If you have ever said, I don't care what I do, it ain't gonna be good enough. I don't care what I do, it ain't gonna be good enough. I don't care what I say, it ain't gonna be right. If you've ever said that, that's a wound from way back, both in the DNA and in the environment that teaches us to hate ourselves, in the environment that keeps us on the bottom of the hierarchy, in the environment that favors white privilege, that favors maleness over femaleness, in those environments. So the person who never knows what's going on in them, and for spiritual people, it's hard because you're going to make everything spiritual. So you have to deal with yourself. Okay? Okay? So when that stuff stays there and it's repeated over years, over years, over years, over years, over years. I've done it. Okay, thank you, Erica. Thank you. Uh-huh. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, State Mother. Thank you. Thank you. Uh-huh. Here we go. I just want us to see. If you ever said it, put it in the chat. Tell the truth on yourself. Thank you. Because God can never heal what you don't reveal. Thank you, Rita. See? I didn't say it. And when I heard it come out my mouth, I said, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look, I done hit something, y'all. I done hit stuff. Look, I done hit some, all the comments up here. All right. When I heard it come out, it don't matter what I do. Y'all ain't never going to be satisfied. Hmm? And in my rant to God about his people, that's when I heard, I ain't asked you to be no good pastor. I need you to be what I made. And for those that value authenticity, those that see your value, it's enough. To those who don't see your value, it ain't going to be enough. Oh, well, I need you to be what I said. Not a good this, not a good that. When you are you, authentically you, and you're at the top of your game because God deserves that, because you deserve that, because the people around you don't deserve the worst part of you. That is arrogant. It's like, okay, you get what you get. Y'all can kiss my... Oh, no, you angry. You angry and you still trying to perform, but you never dealt with the real source of the anger. So we keep living it over and over and over. All right? Okay? Repeated over the year, the anger stops attaching to any single event, not the actual event itself. Over the years. Now remember, now all this stuff now is just combining and it's getting entrenched as you sleep. It is going in the brain and it is even altering the memory. It's altering the memory so that you are the victim alone. You are offended alone. You ain't had nothing to do with nothing alone. Okay? And there's some things you don't. You just wrong place, wrong time. Boom. You know? Um, uh, and so you don't want to take on what's not yours and internalize it and blame everything on yourself. But you do want to be honest. How did I get here? How did this go bad? At what point was I no longer like with this? It's just faking it. What and why? Why did I ignore it? So you gotta ask yourself the hard questions. All right, I have said it. Okay, good. Thank you. Said it recently. Good. Thank you. All right. Anybody else that you have said that? Put it in the chat, please. Okay. Learning how to stop that. Okay. 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 All right. Now, repeated over the year, the anger stops. Okay? It stops attaching itself to the source of it, to the event. Okay? To the thing. It stops attaching itself to it. All right? And then it becomes your baseline. It doesn't attach itself any longer to the thing or the object of the anger. All right? It literally now becomes your baseline state. All right? Paul's instruction to close is to close the account before sleep tracks precisely with what sleep does to unresolved emotion. Okay? Healthy adults with no heart disease. This is a study done at Columbia University in 2024. So you got these adults, right, with no heart disease. Researchers measured the endothelium. That's the vessel lining that lets blood vessels dilate. You know, they dilate, they open, they dilate, they open. So they measured this. What they found, provoked anger measurably impaired that function. Okay? Sadness and anxiety did not. But chronic anger produces repeated vascular injury that accumulates into lasting cardiovascular damage. Well, all these black people don't, all these black people got high blood pressure. That's why. Some of it's lifestyle, some of it's food, but a lot of it is this, and they know it. They just say, stress. It's just stress. Okay? Stress. All right. But it is unresolved stress. It is ongoing chronic stress, but it is also, we have nowhere to diffuse this rage because the system, the religion, the institutions, the culture forbid us to show any reaction unless we misdirect it and do it to ourselves. Black on black crime, domestic violence. Y'all ain't getting no whole lot of years for killing your own, because the black body ain't got no value to them unless it's making them money or making them superior. Okay? All right? I want to look at this other research where blacks carry elevated allostatic load. What an allostatic load is a cumulative physiological cost of chronic stress. We carry it across the life course and across every income level. It don't make no difference whether they up here with it, with the income level, down here with it, whether they country, whether they city, it don't make no difference. Across the life course, age, stage, every income level, a degree and a professional job does not erase it. A status does not erase it. We keep looking for status and seats. I can't even tell you how many people are attracted to church seats because the pathology in them is doing something. It ain't got nothing to do with a calling. Oh boy. Or they'll go right into politics, be like, Lord, they're a terrible politician. Why are they here? Because they need to be in charge somewhere, and they think if they have certain kind of status with other people or status over people, that's going to get rid of the thing that's in them that's driving them. But they found out in this study, okay? This is Arline Geronimo's study. They found out in this study that a degree, a professional job did not erase it. The Columbia study names one mechanism by which chronic anger inflicts people at that cost us like this physically. Together, unprocessed anger does measurable structural damage to black bodies, and it compounds across the lifetime. Okay? We did a little bit of this. I'm going to run through it really quick. How the rage presents itself. Reading the signs. Same wound, black women, black men, different presentation. Where a black man has one wound, a black woman has two wounds in the same place. One because of gender, one because of her race and her color. All right? So how does this kind of look? Runs in two directions, mostly. There are many alternate ways. But reactions are disproportionate to the trigger in men. So you should be responding at a 5, but you're responding at a 9. Okay? This is typical for men because men are socialized to be angry. Women are socialized to suck it up. Men are socialized to suck up hurt, to suck up disappointment, to suck up fear. They ain't taught really to suck up business, all right? Anger, all right? So the reaction is disproportionate to the trigger. Trigger is 5. Your reaction is 9. Males, females, whoever this applies to. The trigger is 3 and you're at a 7. If you're at a 7 and that trigger is at a 3, this is built up anger. You done built up anger from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That person hits you at a 3 trigger, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 already buried down in there, already rewiring your brain, already got you on the edge. You're not responding to the trigger. You are responding to anger that you think they're going after. You are responding to a wound that you think they're getting near. And if they go anywhere near it, you're going to put that at a 7 or an 8 so that the reaction is always disproportionate to the trigger. That's a way for you to assess yourself. Ask yourself. Ask yourself. Y'all talk to me tonight. Ask yourself. I mean, y'all are really not talking very much tonight. Ask yourself, did that 10, I mean, somebody actually took me to a 10 yesterday. I think I was on a 12. I warned them 3 times. You about to take me to a 10. Stop it. And they just couldn't keep, they had to keep going until they loose, they had to empty the whole clip. Okay, and I'm sick of this life. Had to empty the whole clip. All right. So I see my baby. Okay, and then I said, okay, was that a 10 response? Absolutely. With 3 or 4 warnings. Absolutely. Absolutely. Then I had to say, what's at the baseline of that? What's at the baseline of I don't like this no light. Even though I got light, right? What's at the baseline of this anger? Okay. It is the disrespect. And it is a long standing disrespect. Okay. And then I had to say too, okay, you done gave him too much too. You gave him too much. You gave him too much. Anything that's out of balance or out of kilter, good or bad, is going to cause negative consequences. It doesn't matter if it was good or good intended. Anything that is too much, let your moderation be known to all men. Anything that is too much, good or bad, is going to yield the same consequences. All right? So this is a good way to check yourself. Most of the time when you see road rage and people giving you the finger and tailgating you, most of the time isn't that a male? Most of the time that's a male. Sometimes it's another kind of male. All right? A short fuse in traffic, short fuse in line, short fuse at home with the wife, short fuse with the children, quick to read disrespect. We call everything disrespect because we never handled the disrespect of a culture, a government, a people, a religion, a church. We never dealt with their dishonor and disrespect. So we say, I'll be, if I'm going to take it off of you. That's not who you're really angry at. Okay? It's all right to say, I'm sick of all of this. Aggression is displaced onto people closest at hand. We see this, those of you who are caretaking, I'm caretaking too. My mom will be my dad over here. Those of you who are caretaking people with dementia, and some of it is brain stuff. They go from 0 to 10 and almost fight you. Aggravated dementia. Okay, and it's an it's not just black people. There are other people that have it, but we have it. Matter of fact, we have dementia disproportionately. In fact, they said that in a few years, dementia is going to be. I'm sick of this light, y'all. Dementia is going to be an epidemic. It's already an epidemic, and you know who they said is going to be. The most affected by it, they have already predicted that the people that's going to be the most affected by dementia is black people because there is a trauma, grief, and anger based to it that we have no way of processing. I'm sick of this light, y'all. Getting on my nerve. It's getting on my nerve. Okay? All right, here we go. Maybe now I'll put the new one up. I just be trying to hold on to it because I old like an old shoe. Let me something that. Okay. All right, let's get through. All right, because we're close to our time. All right. So we talked about that displaced aggression. In other words, I'm angry here at the job because I'm not advancing. I'm angry here at the job because they won't recognize my genius. I'm angry here at the job because I see the foolishness. I see the whatever. I see what they're trying to do. I see. I'm angry here at the job because bro right here got less than me and they calling me for everything, but he getting a raise and he getting a pay and he telling me what to do, but secretly coming asking me how to do his job. I'm angry at that, but I know if I strike out at that, then I'm not gonna have a job, or I'm gonna have a suit, or I'm gonna have something, a lawsuit. I'm gonna have something in my record. This is for black women too, because you got it twice. All right. And so when I get home and there's any semblance of disrespect, any semblance of the lack of value, any semblance of it, okay, you can tell because when your women or those around you who are sensitive to you, who know your facial expression, who knows your energy, who knows the sharpness of the shortness of your words, and they say, honey, are you okay? Everything all right? I said I'm all right. I said, then you get angry because they see that you're troubled. Now you're angry because she can see. If she ignore you, you're angry. It's just like, it's crazy. And so we will displace the anger from off of the object, okay, onto something closest to us. We really see this with people with dementia, people that's sick. They go off on the people closest to them because they can trust them people to stay. They think it's without consequence. All right? So they will displace that aggression or that anger onto the people closest at hand rather than the systemic source that where it's coming from, because the source of it is out of reach. I feel like I can't. All right? Inward with a black man. Emotional flatness. I'm fine when everybody else says no, you're not. I don't need no help. I'm all right. Okay. Avoidance of situations that require vulnerability. If I gotta be vulnerable, I can't trust a black woman to handle me because she gon' manhandle me and da 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 da. Okay? So we're gonna avoid situations that require vulnerability or that show what we call weakness. It's not your weakness. It's your humanity in process. Okay? Your humanity in process. All right? Okay? That's it. I like this one. Too much of a good thing may not be a good thing. All right? And we're going to have to learn to love. Against such there is no law. We're going to have to learn to love in mature ways. Mature ways require protocols and boundaries so everybody is safe. All right? All right, we can go too far with it. Okay. That's true. That's true. Because we're taught not to communicate the feelings. I don't have to tell you nothing. I don't have to tell you nothing. I ain't got to show myself. It's the I can't be vulnerable piece. Okay? It's a vulnerable piece. I can't. I can't let you see that. I can't trust you. Because all you're going to do is comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, comfort me. Well, maybe they're not just trying to comfort you. Maybe they actually see something in you and they want you to be better. All right, hold on. All right. They want you to be better. Maybe they're trying to help the only way they know to help. And because we can't get no help in helping, we going to help wrong. Okay? All right. Or they will retreat into work, retreat into long hours, retreat into ministry, retreat into doing what they do because we have taught men that their value is in their work. Their value is in their work. Because this allows me some independence. This allows me to provide. So their value is in their work. So they will retreat into work. If they can't retreat into work, and that's not an option, we will retreat into substances, substance abuse. Men ain't don't want to do this, but this is a little more typical. Or they will isolate, and eventually they don't have no whole lot of friends and stuff. They angry. All right. Here are physical markers, right, for the bros. Elevated blood pressure. Sometimes I can actually see a man's jaw moving like this, and that temporal mandibular joint. I can see it. You know, you can see them clutching. You can see them grinding. Some people actually grind their teeth in their sleep. All right, but you'll see tension in the jaw, tension in the shoulders. You will have disrupted sleep, early cardiovascular deterioration, tension that they carry in the chest. All right. Yes, sometimes that's true. Any kind of addiction, that's it. Well, that's some good substance. Sexual activity. They'll go from one woman to another, or they got a habit every night and be like, man, get off me, bruh. I need to feel affirmed. I need to be accepted. I need to be da 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 da. A lot of it comes from a wound that's never been attended to. All right. Let's look at our sisters. Okay. And then we'll look at turning your anger into an assignment. How about that? All right. Can you hang a little bit longer? Huh? Can you hang a little bit longer? Okay. All right. A person has to earn your trust. People who don't trust will make you work for trust. When we say trust is earned, that means you got to do a whole lot to prove that you're trustworthy. Usually with those kind of people, their trust mechanism is already broken and destroyed. It's already broken and destroyed. People who are completely too trusted, again, either side of the coin is abnormal. All right. People who are absolutely too trusting and gullible refuse to see the world in a certain way. All right. If you're that kind of person, you gotta have people in your life that can keep you centered. Okay. You gotta have people that can see in your blind spot. Everybody got a blind spot. That's why now most of the newer cars have blind spot detectors on them because they know you physiologically, everybody has a blind spot. You need people in your blind spot. Either way, okay, to bring you back into the center. All right? People who have healthy trust mechanisms trust you with a small or moderate degree of trust until you give them several reasons not to. Okay? All right. For our women, because the culture rendered her anger unspeakable, they rendered her anger unspeakable. You better not say nothing. Shut your mouth. But we don't want no. I don't want no black woman. She got too much mouth. Shut your mouth. I mean, we punish for speaking. We punish for being honest. See, and so the culture gonna render her anger unspeakable or dangerous. Either unspeakable, shut up, put up, shut up, or she dangerous, she loud, she boisterous, she this, she that. All right. Watch this. Very often. A woman will have what we call a reflexive apology. I'm not apologizing because I actually did something to you. I'm reflecting on how I responded. I'm apologizing for being pissed. I'm apologizing because I actually got pissed. I'm apologizing because I got angry and actually expressed myself. I'm apologizing. Okay? I'm apologizing. It's reflexive apology for your own anger. Okay? Here's another sign of it. Preemptive self-abandonment. I'm going to abandon my needs for yours. I'm going to put my needs aside for yours. I'm going to make everybody first and I'm going to make me last. And when I make me last and they don't acknowledge that I did all of that and made myself last, then I'm going to be angrier because I did all of that. I paid all of that and I didn't get no product for my payment. And so this preemptive self-abandonment, dismissing your needs before anybody else can. I ain't even gonna let you go there. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna take care of that. I'm gonna take care of this. And then deuces, I'm gonna bounce. So I'm gonna dismiss my own need because I don't believe you're going to do it. I don't trust you to do it. I know you're not going to do it because nobody ever sees me. Nobody ever takes care of me. Nobody ever makes it safe for me. So I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to do you in front of me, and then I'm going to dismiss myself emotionally or psychologically. I'm going to have preemptive before, all right? I'm going to have preemptive self-abandonment, dismissing my own needs before anybody else can do it. Hypervigilance that prevents rest. All right, your head going all through it. Lord, what am I doing? Lord, what are they going to do? Why did they do this to me? You can't even sleep with it. The duty that's going on to sleep and let that thing crystallize. But we're going to have the kind of hypervigilance that Joy DeGruy. It's also in PTSD. We got a whole lot of PTSD. And we got a whole lot of post-traumatic slave syndrome. Joy DeGruy. You ain't got the book. Get the book. It'll tell you about our pathology. All right? But this hypervigilance that prevents rest. And so we'll be up all night. All right? Or we'll sleep all day. Sleep all day. Or I'm just going to bed. I'm going to make it go away. Mm-mm. Here's a physical marker. I know something about this, Mildred, if you're still on. I know something about this. For many of us, we have autoimmune conditions where the body begins to attack itself. My first pastoral assignment, now I'm a Pentecostal preacher, little seminary trained preacher with my little master's degree at that time uh, um, in clinical psych. I hadn't got my PhD and my other stuff yet. But I was there, the Baptist church. And first of all, why y'all call me? I'm Pentecostal. Second of all, why y'all call me? I'm a female and you never had one. Third of all, why y'all call me? Because I ain't scared of nobody. I don't care who you is. I ain't scared of nobody, Man, in that environment is where I first, Mildred, developed autoimmune condition with my thyroid beginning to attack my whole body. These pituitary tumors, benign pituitary tumors that make your stomach blow up, that make your body blow up, make your hair come out, make your nails break, make your blood sugar go up. The body begins attacking itself because the woman does not know how to attack the thing that's attacking her in healthy ways. Fatigue sleep does not resolve none of it. just tired all the time. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Tired all the time. And it doesn't resolve anything. Actually, it gets you further and further down the hole because of things you should be doing, you can't do. And now you're isolated. Now you're tired. Now you ain't got no motivation. Now all of that, blah, 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 blah. Now you're angry at yourself for what you're not doing that you should be doing because you're tired all the time and sleep. It does not resolve it. Pain with no clear medical origin. Okay, again, as my late mentor, Dr. Florence Farley, said, rage is anger turned outward, often misdirected, right? Depression is anger turned inward, okay? Depression is anger turned inward, okay? And so we have a lot of low grade and moderate depression. That's why even in church, tell your neighbor, high five your neighbor, run around, crisscross, back it up, baby bubba, back it up, high five. You have to do all of that to try to stimulate people because over time we have become mildly to moderately depressed. Our adrenal glands are fatigued. We are tired. We are grieved. It's perpetual, and we don't even know how much stress it is. You can't even call somebody for service without hanging on the phone 10, 15 minutes. They say you have a 10-minute wait. I'm trying to get my little Social Security stuff straight, my little Medicaid care and all that. You're 10-minute wait. I called back 2 hours, like 10-minute wait. I said, you know what? I'm going to vacuum my floor. I got the vacuum on. Let me get this out. Everything is stress. You can't talk to a person. They don't talk English. You got to wait. You got to press this. You got to do that. And stuff is coming at you from everywhere. From everywhere. Okay? Depression, ladies, particularly in our bodies. And also, I'm seeing it now in male bodies, in older male bodies. Depression will eat your joints up. Depression will cause you to have pain and stiffness in your body because the issues, Dr. Cindy Trim says, show up in your tissues. Okay? All right? Okay? That makes sense? All right. There's autoimmune diseases, lupus, thyroid, hyperthyroid, Crohn's, all of this stuff that we didn't used to have. We got it now because our anger is on mute. Okay. Here's the diagnostic tell. It's the same in both. Same in both, male and female. Look for the gap between the reaction and the trigger. Look for a calm exterior over a body paying a hidden cost. Either gap indicates this kind of anger that the scripture talks about. Oh, anger that outlived its moment and took up residence. Oh, anger that you didn't attend to bring resolution to, that outlived its moment and it took up residence in your brain, in your body, in your psyche, in your joints, in your vascular system, in your pancreas. Okay, let's talk about, because I'm definitely right at my time. If this helping, let me know. If it ain't, you can let me know that too. Anger, you need to turn your anger into assignment. Remember this, I don't remember the lady's name, but it's a white lady, and her son was killed by a drunk driver. And what she did over time, because she just kept going down, 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 down. What she did over time was she developed an organization called MADD, M-A-D-D, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. And the organization took off. And she put her time and energy into building this organization so that it would not happen to somebody else's kid or somebody else's loved one, particularly the kid. It wouldn't happen to somebody else's kid so readily. So she turned her anger into an assignment. Okay? All right? The healthiest documented use of legitimate anger is to direct its energy. Anger has a lot of energy. And God was wroth, and the fury of the Lord was against them, and he killed them all. All right? Don't kill them all. All right? But anger is supposed to be redemptive, people. Anger is supposed to redeem order. Anger is supposed to redeem cosmos. Anger is supposed to redeem equilibrium and balance. It's supposed to take those who have been marginalized and brought up the front. Okay? Turn your anger into an assignment. Absolutely. So it won't consume you. Mm-hmm. See, for our God is a consuming fire. God don't have a body. So God's anger can consume that which is unjust, that which is unfair, that which is mishandling, that which does not do people right. God is on the side of the oppressed. You have a body. You got to get that out your body. All right. Okay. Um, um, so the healthiest documented use of legitimate anger is to direct the energy toward building or changing something or make it equal again, to bring resolve. It is redemptive. It is protective. It is provisional. It is a tool, not just of mass destruction. It is a tool of justice and correction of cosmic balance, even inside of here. Let's look at a few people, some of our people. Ida B. Wells. March 1892, white mob in Memphis lynched 3 black men, including Ida B. Wells' close friend Thomas Moss, whose grocery store had competed successfully with the white-owned grocery store. Okay? With the white-owned grocery store. All right? The killing was rooted in resentment of black economic success. We did all of this to you and you still thriving. Understand, people, that when people oppress you, they're not oppressing you because they're stronger than you. They're oppressing you because they're scared of you. They resent you and they envy you. I'm going to go head on. All right? So what she does with this, Wells did not suppress her grief. She did not suppress her rage, and she did not let it consume her privately, trying to be deep. All right. She turned it into investigative work, traveling south, documenting more than 700 lynching cases and providing through her own data that only about a third of the victims had even been accused of the crimes used to justify the killing. All right. A mob burned her newspaper's press. They burned it. People always trying to burn the truth, erase the truth. And if you're a truth teller, they're going to try to erase you too. All right? But you keep telling the truth. Find the when, the where, the how, the timing. Okay? All right? What she did, she published anyway. Southern Horrors launched the nation's first sustained anti-lynching campaign and helped found the NAACP. A woman, Ida B. Wells. Frederick Douglass converted the rage of his own enslavement into the most influential, becoming the most influential abolitionist, writing and doing all this oratorical stuff of the 19th century. His autobiographies and his newspaper, the North Star, he used them as instruments of argument rather than outlets for private bitterness. You got to be able to separate the issue from your tissue. You got to be able to separate the issue from attacking the person. You attack the person because you angry and insecure and fearful. These people can't stay on point. Just look at what they do on social media. They attack people because they're too incompetent to attack the issue. And so they go right back to that childhood wound. That's a trigger. You just watch all these other people while we putting all the black stuff up. It's a trigger, and they go off on us. All right, okay. Fannie Lou Hamer, y'all know Fannie Lou, all right. Channeled the anger of her own brutalization and disenfranchisement in Mississippi. She channeled it into voter registration, organizing and founding of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, carrying her case to the 1964 Democratic National Convention. The through line is this here. All of their anger was legitimate. The grief is legitimate, but they aimed it in a healthy manner towards its actual source rather than at people within reach who they think they ain't got no consequence. All right? They converted it into sustained, organized work than to just leave it to settle into bitterness and into their bones. All right? Now, we're almost done here. Working it out. Work it out. Work it out. Why you trying to figure? Work it out. God have worked it out. Okay, that's true, but not true. Okay? There is an end to it. And God has already wired the end to a thing into your choice. God has wired blessing into right choices, cursing into bad choices. See, I set before you a door. You choose. You choose. Not I choose. I set the door. I set the principle. I set the law. You choose. I put it before you. You choose blessings, cursings, life, death. And he said, choose life. Choose to be healthy, not deep. Choose to be faithful, not famous. Choose to be properly processed, not a product people can admire. Choose life. Watch the generational. That you and your seed may live and thrive in abundance. Our choices are still affecting people for generations. So our aim is not to eliminate the anger. It carries accurate information. It tells you something is wrong. It signals something ain't right. It signals something in the earth, something in the universe is wrong. It's wired into you. It will signal it. Sometimes it signal wrong because it's already tied to something and your offendedness is perceived. The person ain't even say that. The person won't even think in that. You concocted all of that because that story is all the way back here and it's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the person gave you 2. Okay? All right. You need the anger. The aim is to move it through the body and aim it at the correct target before it hardens into bitterness, offense, and resentment and vindictiveness. There are some of you who will wait years for the right time and opportunity to get that person back because you've held it that long. You only attach it and piled it up on something that was already back here. Okay? All right. So you got to physically discharge it. Anger loads the body with stress chemistry, stress hormones, cortisols. Movement will metabolize it. Walking, running, resistance exercise. Put on your shouting music and shout. Drumming. All right, drumming. I mean, it ain't got to be real drums, okay? Drumming, manual labor, cleaning the house, doing something constructive. Strongest when the movement happens soon after the anger rises. While stress hormones are elevated, you want to do something in your body because remember now, anger is a body response. All right, externalize it. So we want the physical discharge of it. Diffuse it, discharge it, admit it, hit it, Work through it and start working your body. Work your body. Work your body. All right. Externalize it. Anger held silently grows. Anger spoken or written moves. Name it to a trusted person. Write it in a journal. Write it down privately. Cuss all you want to. You might can't cuss them out. But if you cuss in your journal, that's your journal. Oh, she said cuss. Your journal, all right? All right. On my last class that I taught at Virginia Union, I said, "Listen, y'all keep your journals. Now I do have to read your journal, but I don't allow cussing in my class. Amen. We are seminarians. Y'all get master's degrees. But now in your journal, in your journey, I'm gonna hit some things. I'm gonna hit. I know it's a seminary class, but I'm gonna hit some stuff. All right. And I want you to write it in your journal. I don't care if you draw pictures. I don't care if you cuff. I don't care if you, it's your journal. You're safe. You're safe. I'm not going to judge your journal. All right. You need somewhere to get it out of you. All right. Write it privately. You can even express it in your prayer time. Okay. If you can't be honest with God, God can't be revelatory or truthful with you. All right. The discharge, Paul's sundown instruction, points toward getting it out, discharging it, externalizing it. Then correct target. He says, be angry. I'm telling you, if you don't get pissed, you're going to get run over. If you don't get angry, these Romans going to keep at it. If you don't say something and you don't resist, if you don't do something, they're going to keep going for 400 years. If you don't, black people, deal with what's inside of you. You got to keep fueling and empowering them. And then the genocide works because we were complicit in it. He says, be angry, but do not sin. Be, but watch what you do. Be, but watch what you do. Be is your state. Watch what you do. That's your behavior. Do not sin. Rest on a word that means don't miss the mark. And that's what sin is missing the mark. It's like an archer does this and shoot and the arrow go over there and the mark over there. I missed the mark. He said, don't you shoot that arrow nowhere else but at that target. Don't you miss the mark. Most relational damage comes from aiming legitimate anger at available people that you don't value. Available people that you think gonna take your stuff because they've been taking your stuff. All right? So relational damage comes from legitimate anger at available people rather than at its actual source is displaced. One question interrupts most of that. Is this person the source? Or is that simply the person in front of me that I feel safe to act like a fool in front of? Are they really the source? Or am I really angry at myself? Or am I really angry at this? Am I really even angry at God? Listen, people who are pissed off with God because God ain't act like the white God that they taught you, they give you everything you want, they give you everything you need, a God that caters to you, and you find out God ain't catering, some people get very angry. Or some people feel like, well, God, how did you make me messed up? And everybody else got this. Some people have anger and resentment with God. I'm telling you. If they have anger and resentment with God, any authority figure, they're going to have a problem with it and they're going to try to prove that something is wrong with you so they don't have to obey and submit to you. It's old unprocessed anger from a trauma. Okay? All right? Do not sin. Is the person the source or are they safe? All right? Close your day like this. Feelings fully felt tend to pass. Feelings suppressed tend to lodge themselves and stay and hide. Permit the full experience during the day. Then deliberately close the account before you sleep. A finished conversation, a walk. I jotted it down. I prayed about it. I was honest about it. I got it off my chest. I went in another room and I screamed. I punched her. It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. Get it out of your body. Given what the consolidation research shows, carrying it into your sleep keeps it into your life. All right? Convert it into purpose. All right? The mad lady, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Wells, Douglas, Hammer. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Um, Coretta Scott King. It goes on and on and on. Oprah. It goes on and on and on. On and on and on. All right? Even Tyler. Goes on and on and on. These examples show the highest order use. Channel that energy into building, organizing, teaching, advocacy. That's how you take your power back. Oh, you got me? It'd be a cold day in hell before you get somebody else. See? You take your power back. Oh, you meant this for my evil, Joseph. God meant this for my good. I had to go away and work through all of this, all of the rejection, all had to work through all of this in the system and learn that y'all are just like the system. And when I mastered the system, I could come back now with my wealth, with my health, and I can get through my disappointment and my anger. I don't even want y'all to know who I am. And at some point, you got to work it through and talk it through. And if this hadn't happened to me, I wouldn't be able to do this with you or for you. The same energy that becomes bitterness when it sits still up in your chest becomes productive and purposed when it is put to work and to good use. Some of this anger is older than the person carrying it. In other words, it's transmitted across generations and was never meant to be resolved alone. Therapy, structured support, the sacred couch, trusted communities. You'll never heal by yourself. What's going to get us through all this stuff that they doing here is our togetherness. We got to come back to village, okay? All right? Because they will provide support that an individual effort alone cannot. We got to do this thing on all cylinders, all right? On all fronts, all right? You want to interrupt the transmission of the wound to the next generation. Okay? Be angry. It affirms the legitimacy of the response. You're wired to respond to that which is not right and that which is unjust. Do not sin. Aim it at the correct target. All right? Be honest with yourself. See your part in it. Do not let the sun go down. A boundary against the anger consolidated into a permanent condition, now supported by sleep and cardiovascular research. Feel it, move it, aim it, work it out, all right? Before it becomes bitterness that damages the body, that damages your destiny, that damages the relationship around it, and that damages how you even feel and see or perceive yourself. Okay? I hope this was a little bit helpful. At some point, let's stop the madness so we don't continue to pass it down to generation. That was meant for evil. God means it for good. For we know that all things work together for good, for the good of them who love the Lord and are the called according to his purpose. Thank you so much, all of you, for your support. Those of you who are sharing, like, tag, and share. I want you to, because I'm eventually going to move this, but I want you to begin to please hit the subscribe button. Go to the Sacred Couch. It has its own YouTube channel now. Go to the Sacred Couch. And if you ain't see the thing on weed, go on the Sacred Couch and see that thing on weed. All y'all smoking, and your children smoking, your husband and your wife smoking. All right? See it, because it is genocidal, the things that they're not telling us. I hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you for those of you, the information is on the bottom, scrolling across the bottom, who want to support the platform. I hope this has been helpful to you. I ain't sure where we going next week, y'all. But I'm telling you, we're going to do a whole month on from rage to relationship. May not get to that until September or August. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with it. I don't know where we're going with it. We'll see next week. If you have something that you want to do, with regards to this, please put it in the chat. Even after we go off, put it in the chat. I may be able to kind of take off from there and see where we're going. Maybe next week we'll have Apostle Jackson, Ezrian Jackson, back with us to talk to us about her lived experiences as a black woman. Let's talk about the anger. All right. And let's express it. Let's get it out of your body. It must find healthy expression. As my pastor and apostle says, Archbishop Olive C. Brown says, whatever you don't deal with privately will deal with you publicly. You've been watching The Sacred Couch. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Well, beloved, my assignment here tonight is up, but our journey together shall continue. Thanks for sharing this special time and safe space with us here on the Sacred Couch. Remember, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Your divinity is of God. It's perfect. It's our humanity that needs healing, repair, and restoration. This is a spiritual process. It takes time. It takes work. But I declare, becoming your authentic self is worth both the work and the wait. Until next time, beloved, continue reclaiming your narrative, recovering your authenticity, and realigning with the divine. I am Dr. S. Janine Hyman. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. We'll see you back here next week on the Sacred Couch.